Welcome to the No Fun channel. I'm Felix, and this is sci-fi shows I think they should remake. Next up is Street Hawk. Street Hawk starred Rex Smith. Rex plays Jesse Mock, an ex-motorcycle cop who got injured and is now a police troubleshooter. The TV show actually opened up with a monologue explaining everything. It says a top secret government organization recruits him, and he becomes Street Hawk. And the only person that knows his identity is a federal agent, Norman Tuttle. So basically, this is a TV show about a ex-cop vigilante who rides around on a motorcycle, but yet still works for the police. And this came out in the 80s. It was your stereotypical 80s action show, villain of the week TV show. Had action, had motorcycles, jumping around, doing different things. The motorcycle itself, I believe, was made up of 4 different bikes. A 1993 Honda XL 500 trail bike, Honda 500 Ascot, a Honda CX 500, and a Honda CR 250. So yeah, 4 bikes made up the Street Hawk bike. From what I understand, they actually pieced together several bikes to all look the same. And one was used for stunts, one was used for close-up shots, and one was used for riding. So they had different bikes for different things is basically what it came down to. Now the TV show, Street Hawk, actually only got 1 season. To be honest with you, I vaguely remember it. I remember it, and I think I got it confused with another TV show I used to watch that had a motorcycle in it, and it was a syndicated show, and I can't remember the name of it. But there was another show similar to this, except the guy had an armored suit. But as for this show, now I did say this in Mantis where you could do like a mentor thing and he could help the new person who's being Street Hawk. But in this one, I think they should go straight 100% remake, where all new actors, and definitely take more time on the design of the bike. The truth is, I wasn't a fan of the bike even back then. I thought it looked weird. It had kind of a cool element to it, but in the end, I thought it looked weird. And so they definitely could take more time with the bike design. I mean, there's so many bike fabricators out there now that they could probably find one and design one really cool looking, guns popping out on it. So one upside to this show, if they decide to remake it, they could definitely go a lot harder with it, a lot grittier with it. This could be one of those shows that you could really go dark with it. As for like the ex-cop injury, if I remember correctly, I think there was like some crooked cops too that were responsible for his injury. But they always had it like he was fighting urban crime and stuff like that. And, but everyone was white on the show. It was the 80s. But still, you can still have this show go dark with it. They could set it in a fictional city if they wanted to. Or even set it in like New York or LA, someplace where he could get around on a motorcycle. But yeah, I think this one has potential to, if they brought it back, you could definitely go darker with it. And I mean, that concept is there where you got the vigilante. He's fighting crime and corruption. They could still keep the formula villain of the week. Maybe not be as cheesy with it, go a little more over the top. And they could have that one reoccurring villain too if they wanted to do that. But with the reoccurring villains, they got to be careful with that as well. Because at some point you get sick of the reoccurring villain. And then if they make the villain a good guy, that really irks people, especially if there's not a good arc as to how the transformation took place. But overall, I think they should give it a shot. I don't think there's any motorcycle shows out right now. They could actually do this more like Team Knight Rider. Team Knight Rider just took the concept of Knight Rider and made it a team. And they could do that with Street Hawk. They could have it be like 3 people or 4 people, 5 people. It could be a 5-person team. You could have the tech side. You could have the people who actually work in the street. Like they all don't have to be Street Hawk. Maybe 2 of them actually ride the bike, and the rest of them are out there doing footwork. Finding out information, doing things, and then you have the person actually ride Street Hawk. You could have one of them be the 5-person team. One could be a cop, one could be a tech person. You could have a reporter, and you could just have the random street person who knows all the contacts, and then you have Street Hawk. So there's your 5-person team right there. So I think this would be definitely a good choice for a remake. And like I said, this is about a cop who gets injured in a line of work. With today's climate, I think this would also work very well with what's going on in the world, especially in America. Now, one way they could also bring it back if they wanted to, say they didn't want to do live action, they could do it as a cartoon. This could be an adult cartoon with a lot of action, a lot of romance. Depending on how adult they want to get with it, there's two ways they could bring it back. Bring it back as a cartoon, because I could see this working as a cartoon. Let's say like an anime or just an adult cartoon. I don't mean like adult X-rated cartoon, but an adult cartoon, geared towards adults. Leave the kiddie stuff out, leave the cheesy stuff out, and just shoot it like you're shooting a regular show, but just animate it. But I really think they should go live action and not cartoon. And this is one of the shows you never really hear talked about or hear people say, hey, they should bring back Street Hawk. And that's another reason I think they should do it, because I don't think the fan base is there to where they'll scream and shout that, hey, this doesn't take hold to the original. You'll have enough people that'll be willing to give it a chance. And even me, like I said, this came out in the 80s. I was a kid in the 80s, and I vaguely remember it. So if they did it right, they could have a hit on their hands. That's my take on remaking Street Hawk. You guys have a nice day.